Hi there, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Now, today's reading will be an extended weekend reading, focusing on the energy surrounding us during the weekend of May 18th through the 20th, 2018. For the main reading, I'm using the Sun and Moon Tarot deck by Vanessa Decort. And I will pull an additional card from the Earth Magic deck by Stephen D. Farmer. Okay, as I like to remind you, these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate. The only way to get a truly personalized reading would be to order a private reading from me. If you're interested, you can either send me an email at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. You could go to my site, changingphasestarot.weebly.com, where you'll find information about the types of readings that I offer, as well as pricing. Or the quickest way and the newest way would be to interact with me using the Instant Go app. All of the information for these different ways of getting in touch with me are listed in the description box below. And, hopefully you can reach out and I would be more than happy to do a reading for you. All right, so let's get started. I have already been shuffling off camera and have meditated, but I'll give the decks a few more shuffles. So we're looking for the energy surrounding us during the weekend of May 18th through the 20th, 2018. Spirit, what do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us during the weekend of May 18th through the 20th, 2018? Messages for the weekend. What do I need to know? What is the energy surrounding us during the weekend of May 18th through the 20th? All right. Well, those all wanted to come out, so we'll take those. And one more card, one more oracle card here. So, one additional message for the weekend of May 18th through the 20th, 2018. All right. Well, that was quick and easy today, wasn't it? Sometimes it takes forever, and sometimes they just are ready to come out. All right, let me lower my camera here just a little bit so you can see the cards, and I'll show you all of them. Oh, okay, so we have two major arcanas, one wands, and one pentacles. So in the past position, the energy as we enter into the weekend, we have the 10 of wands. And in this deck, it's called Oppression, and you can see the woman is carrying these 10 heavy wands on her head here, right? So the 10 of wands. In the present, we have Major Arcana, number 14, Temperance. And the outbound energy for the weekend, we have the 8 of Pentacles, Prudence. And the overall energy for the weekend is Major Arcana number 13, Death, Rebirth. I love this depiction of it. I think it's beautiful with the phoenix, right, rising from the ashes. And very similar energy, similar colors here. Look, we have Summer Solstice, Radiance. That is our oracle card. Okay, so starting off here with the 10 of Wands. So Wands energy, or the suit of Wands, is fire energy. And typically it has to do with the day-to-day matters, that we deal with in life. It's our jobs, it's the home, things we do around the home. It has to do with creativity, creative endeavors, and it's our own drive and, passion and ambition for getting things done as well. The 10 of Wands, usually 10s in the tarot are endings or, completions, an ending of a cycle. They're also culminations. In this case, it would be more of a sort of an ending. And the 10 of Wands, this is something, a burden that you've been carrying for quite a long time. something that, feeling overburdened, feeling overwhelmed, feeling as though, much like the woman on the card here, it's really become difficult to, to keep going. When she, if you think of the woman here, when she was carrying, maybe 1 or 2 wands, that wasn't that bad, but I mean, the weight of these 10 wands on her head is really quite overbearing. So, it's feeling as though, if this is in the work sector, you've been doing, taking on too much. This could be, working way too much. If this is around the, the home or family, sort of matters around the home, that has really just been, whatever the situation is, it's just very difficult. This has really required a lot of, a lot of strength, a lot of sort of flexibility, being able to adapt, when you feel overwhelmed. So it's a heavy burden, something that you've been dealing with, or, something like this woman, you've been carrying this heavy burden, and it's really become too much almost for you to handle. But, think about the 10s. What comes after the 10 in the tarot is the ace, which is a new beginning, which is a new start. So, you are at the end here, and it does show up in the past. So, this is good. I mean, I like seeing it in the past. If there was a difficult situation or something that you've been dealing with for quite a long time, this is you just now, really you're at the end of that, so if you've been struggling to make it, it's you just really, you're at the end. So you're ready to put those wands down, and you're ready to, have some type of new beginning, or, start anew after this heavy burden. And like I said, it's called oppression in this deck. So, you've felt really overwhelmed here. Now, in the present position, you have Temperance, and this is a major arcana. And the Temperance card, it speaks of balance. And let me show you this card again. In this deck, I love a lot of the representations in this deck, I think, are very beautiful, and it's a little difficult to see. I apologize for the glare and the lighting, but it's you see there's the yin yang, right, and there's the dark and the white and the black also with this, the person on the card, and there's this balance. So the Temperance card, it's all about balance and finding that balance. Obviously this person is sort of pouring the water here, and we usually think of, sometimes when this card comes out, there could be, a need for balance in our life. And looking back at this 10 of Wands, after getting away or closing that chapter, moving away from this 10 of Wands energy, that could be a need for balance. If you've been working, overworking, or if you've been taking on more than your fair share, this could be a call for, balance in your life. And balance can be in many different things. This can be balancing your home life with your work life. This can be finding that sort of inner balance, right? Having that kind of that inner, what am I trying to say? Calm, because this card, it really, especially in this particular deck, it speaks of, we think of like the Buddhist sort of idea of following the middle path, not having of moderation, right? Not overindulging, not having excess, really having that balance, that temperance, the following a more moderate lifestyle. So, if you have been, with this 10 of Wands overburdened, this is all about, or if you've been overindulging, maybe some of this burden, this has caused you to do, to overindulge in ways that you wouldn't usually, so maybe you've been drinking more than usual, maybe you've been eating more than usual, maybe you haven't been able to, you've been more sedentary than usual, you haven't been able to exercise because of the stress of the 10 of Wands. So the Temperance card is all about getting things back into balance, finding that calm, finding that middle path, finding this, balancing the dark and the light, much like we have this yin and yang energy. So, balancing the light and the dark within ourselves, and bringing our life back into balance here. And then as you leave the weekend, right, we have this 8 of Pentacles energy. And in this deck, it's called Prudence. And usually we think of this, the Eight of Pentacles, as the apprentice card, right? Pentacles energy is earth energy. So it deals with the material things, so it's our work, it's the money that we earn, it's material prosperity, success, things that we can accrue with the money that we earn. It has to do with education, knowledge, our families. And the eight, is all about, you can see here that the woman, she's, not only has she planted a seed and she's been patient enough and she's watered the seed and allowed the seed to grow and allow, the flowers to grow here, she's now actually reaping some of the sort of what she's planted, right? So she's harvesting here, she's plucking the flowers off of the vine here. So it does have to do with, there is a certain amount of satisfaction, in knowing that, or seeing the fruit of her hard labor here. But with this prudence card in this deck, it really speaks of, again, self-discipline, and that it brings me back to the need for balance and the need for moderation. This prudence card, it speaks of motivation, but it speaks more of self-discipline, and yes, it does require a lot of hard work and determination and, really working hard to get this fruit to grow here. So being very detail oriented, being very focused on excuse me, on the end result. There's also this focus on, what it is that, that she's working on, and in this case, I mean, we have the flowers here, but, if in the case of your work, or, you working hard on to reach a certain goal or to manifest something in your life, it's all about being prudent, being very, disciplined, and working hard, much like the apprentice. The apprentice just kind of puts, his or her nose down and just works hard and keeps their focus on, whatever the end result is. Sometimes this involves additional study. So for some of you, there could be, a need to study. And if this is to do with, you feeling sort of overburdened, not having this balance, it could have to do with study and the need to go back to school, or the need to perfect your trade, whatever that is, whatever your work is. This could have to do with going back, studying, taking additional courses, which, it can, we can easily become overloaded by taking on these extra things, not just being, if you're a mother or a father, or, all of the responsibilities around the home, or, taking on additional things. I mean, it can lead us to feel quite overwhelmed here, but definitely, there's a message coming through for balance, for being more disciplined, self-discipline, and moderation, right? Finding that temperance, that moderation, and the balance in our lives. And then we have, here's the overall energy, Major Arcana, this is number 13, Death. And in this deck, it's called Death Rebirth, because, really, a lot of people, when they see the Death card, and if they don't understand much about the tarot, they can get a little scared by the card, because, they think it has to do with, it's just a death, it's an ending. But really, the main meaning of the Death card is what comes after. It's the rebirth, and so if there has been a difficult situation, if you, much like what I was saying with this 10 of Wands, if you felt just really, very down and like you can't go on, and there's a significant ending. So you have this ending here, and with this Death card and rebirth, we have a very significant ending and, new beginning. It has to do with detachment. It has to do with release, letting go even aspects of yourself that, are no longer useful. So, death of the old self, death of an old cycle here, right? And death of an old way of thinking. change, renewal. Obviously, the phoenix on this card, the phoenix is a symbol of transformation, right? Of being reborn from its own ashes here. So definitely, key words here are change, rebirth, transformation, and significant ending and new beginning. And possibly this new beginning, if this does have to do with, letting go of your old self, or an aspect of yourself that, that needs to end, that no longer serves you, if this is part of this oppression here, this is you needing to, really focus on this temperance here, and the balance, and the prudence, and the self-discipline, and possibly this new, this rebirth is the rebirth of this new you, of this new, this new version of yourself here. It's this version, this more balanced version of yourself, and somebody who is very, focused on keeping things in balance, and following that middle, the middle road. And then you have the radiance. Summer solstice is the oracle card. Let me find, I like to read the full meaning of the oracle cards from the guidebook, because there's so much information contained in each of these oracle cards. And summer solstice, let me find it. Okay, here we go. And it's called radiance, right? And it says, obviously we have the sun here, and it's all about the warmth that comes from the sun, right? And it talks about how the summer solstice, it says, twice during the solar year, the sun appears to rise and set in the same place for several days. It seems to be taking a much-needed rest before making the next circuit across the sky from one solstice to the next. And so, it talks about this rest that's needed, but it also talks about, this warmth and rebirth that comes from the sun, the radiance of the sun. And so it says, let the radiance of the sun inspire your inner radiance to shine forth. Release your concerns about what may happen in the future, and focus on appreciating everything that you have that is good and right. Allow the sun to take away your worries and cares. Do something physically active to stimulate your inner light. Dance, sing, but most important, get outdoors. Do not let any negative thoughts or habits stop you. When you are in love with life, you naturally radiate that love. During this part of your cycle, your capacity to love is greatly amplified. In one of those supreme ironies of life, the more love you give, the more returns to you. It starts by allowing the radiant being you truly are to be expressed into the world. Smile a little more. Notice the beauty of nature. See the humor in the paradoxes of life. Show your love, especially to those with whom you are closest. Then smile even more and watch how the world around you lights up. And I think, I think it ties in with the rebirth card, but it also ties in with this. Remember when I was saying about the temperance, and how, possibly you've been neglecting certain, maybe you haven't had a whole lot of time to spend some time alone, spend some time outside, get out into nature, really do. I mean, it's important to have it, even if it's just 5 minutes, to get outside, sit in the sun, allow the warmth of the sun to sort of really, shine down on you, feel that warmth. And it's amazing how good we feel after that, and I'm drawn back to this oppression card, and it is a very, like the title suggests, oppressive energy, right? It's a very dark, very difficult, so release that. There's a definite need here for balance, in order to allow for this, this, whatever this new version of yourself, a more balanced version, to come through. So, take some time out, find that inner balance, and it's definitely being called for here. There's a need for this time outside, a need for this renewed balance in your life to come, to really get you out of this this Ten of Wands energy, right? And to have this beautiful new death, rebirth that's coming in with this Major Arcana card. So, I would say focus for the weekend, focus on these two here, right? To get you to this balance that's needed. So I do hope that that the messages have helped you in some way. I thank you for joining me today. I look forward to reading for you again, and just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light for a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.